Hi, my name is Josh Wakeman, one of the co-founders here at FreeSource Solar, and I talk to a lot of different businesses about solar. So what I've ended up doing is putting together this commercial guide to rooftop solar that's going to answer a lot of your questions. So we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits of solar. We're going to talk about some of the incentives here for the state of Illinois, as well as give you an actual example and a quote for a local grocery store. And I'm going to do it all in a fairly quick amount of time. I know that you're a busy business owner as well. Don't have a lot of time probably to spare, but if you do have questions, feel free to message me back, as well as if you want to take a look at what this looks like for your specific business, how all the different incentives work, what those numbers look like, what your return on investment is, I'd be glad to give you a look at that too. So let's go ahead and get started. We've got a lot to cover. So some of the benefits of solar. Reducing operating costs. I have that as number one because that's what business owners love to hear. We want to lower your electricity costs, therefore giving you more profit to your bottom line. The energy to independence aspect. Now, I'm not talking about getting off the grid. I'm simply talking about that if you were to look at your energy bills over the course of the last handful of years, you're going to see that they're gradually going up. If you are to produce your own energy by going solar, that's going to be a different story though, because if you're producing your own energy, you're now insulated from those inflating costs that you're getting from your utility. Now, I could go on and on about the benefits, but again, I want to keep this video between 6 and 7 minutes. So let's move forward to how are we different than maybe someone else you may be looking at for going solar. First of all, we only use tier 1 equipment. Now that goes for not only the equipment itself, but also the installers. We're going to give you a 30-year warranty on the equipment and the workmanship. Our installers have done over 1,500 installs to date. And the most common question, are you going to put a bunch of holes in the roof? And the answer to that is no. We use ballasted systems, very secure on your roof, no holes in your roof, maintaining the integrity of your roof. Education and financing. I put education in there simply because I like to make sure that we're on the same page with everybody that we work with. I go through a lot of the incentives, make sure people understand how they all work. Again, it's all about communication, making sure that we're on the same page. People generally appreciate that. And the financing aspect, yes, you could go to your bank to get a loan. Maybe you want to self-finance, but if you did want a loan that's at a low interest rate, we've actually connected the dots with various different agencies within the state. One of them being the Illinois Finance Authority that's now offering this energy efficiency loan program. Literally $16 million in funds are sitting there as of January 30th in 2025 that are for energy efficiency programs and different projects. These solar projects must either include a battery backup or an energy efficiency upgrade. What we're doing to help our clients get approved for this, we're literally giving you those things at cost. We're not looking to get any profit on those pieces. We just want to make sure that our clients are able to get approved for this loan because there's literally only a 2% loan origination fee. There's a 3 to 6% interest rate based on what your books would look like, and it's only a 24-month term. The reason it's 24 months is you're going to see how all of these different incentives play out. You're going to get a lot of that back here in the first 24 months anyway. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of those incentives because there are a lot of them. This is one of the primary reasons that people go solar here in the state of Illinois. We've got your federal investment tax credit. This is literally 30% tax credit coming back on the cost of the system. If you're in an energy community, which you're going to be if you're here in the state of Illinois, that's an additional 10%. The domestic content, if we're using the amount of different hardware that meets the threshold to qualify for this, which we will be, you're going to also get this 10%. Solar renewable energy certificates. Now you may have heard of these referred to as SRECs. This is something that only a handful of states actually have in place. Illinois is one of them. This is an additional 30 to 35% back on the cost of the system. Lastly, we have this mouthful modified accelerated cost recovery system or makers. Now, I'm not a tax advisor by any means, but I do want you to know about this because there's bonus depreciation that you can take from basically the depreciation over the course of time of that asset. We get to move that to the front, and if you have a system that's installed in 2025, then you get 40% bonus depreciation. If it's 2026, it's 20%. This ends up also being a significant savings in taxes. Again, talk to your accountant. There's one even that's not on here if you're in the ComEd territory. That's called the DG rebate. they give you back an additional 7 or 8% on the cost of your project. And the reason they do that is they want to incentivize you to go solar because it's actually cheaper for them than building new power plants if you're the one that's producing the energy. So many different things to cover there from an incentive program aspect. You're going to see how all that plays out here in the spreadsheets upcoming. Let's talk first briefly about where your energy comes from and all the different costs that go into making your all-in rate. You've got your electricity here. Capacity and transmission are two of the huge pieces, and you're going to notice that PJM and ComEd are going to be seeing increases to these coming June of 2025. You're going to notice that there's going to be a significant difference on your bill, but again, if you're producing your own energy, you're now insulated from those increases in costs. So I've talked a little bit about what some of these taxes and fees look like. Here's the bottom of a ComEd bill. You're going to see that there's just more and more of these stacked up on top of each other. Some of these different taxes and fees are going towards some of these incentive programs. So literally, you're paying right now for other people to go solar. Let's fix that. Have you go solar. Have you start saving in all these different ways. And there's no reason for you to be paying for other people to go solar when you could be saving by going solar yourself. So lastly, we're going to take a look at this spreadsheet. This is actually for a local grocery store. Again, talk to your CPA or tax attorney to verify some of these numbers. I'm going to go ahead and turn this maker's benefit off for this example, but this is an actual grocery store. You're going to see that they use 2.2 million kilowatt hours per year. The offset that we're able to get them is 38%. The cost of the project, $1.4 million roughly. You're going to notice though that of these total incentives, that's also $1.4 million for a return on investment of almost 98% as these different incentives come through. Like I mentioned, a lot of these are coming back in year one. If you were to want to take some of these tax credits, since there are so many of them, and turn them into cash, we're able to do any ratio you would like at 80 cents on the dollar. And if we were to include this maker's benefit and turn this into a yes, you're going to see that now it actually becomes overfunded at 109%. You're going to see that they're now saving $124,000 every year by utilizing this. So as they get all these incentives back, and we would show you an actual spreadsheet of how this plays out for your specific business. For this one, the net cost after 7 years, they've saved over $1.1 million, and that's including today's rates, not the fact that they're going to have increased rates from here moving forward. So these are conservative numbers. So again, my name is Josh Wakeman with FreeSource Solar. If you want to take a look at what these numbers would be for your specific business, what we do is we take a look at your energy bill, we put together a proposal, we present these numbers to you, and then walk through the next steps. So if you have any questions or you'd like to see a proposal for your specific business, feel free to message me back and we'll go from there. So I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy professional, like I mentioned. These 8 minutes, I hope they've been valuable for you. Definitely appreciate it and have a great day. Thanks for your time.